Transcripts and recordings of the podcast may not be used for any purpose without the direct written permission of the podcast owner. Welcome to LITE It Up, a podcast about resilient women balancing motherhood, their careers, personal lives, and all of the challenges that come along with being a superwoman. Each week, you'll be motivated to take action to lead, inspire, transform, and empower. Now, here's your host, Dr. Aginah M. Hey, everybody. Welcome to a brand new season and episode of Light It Up. It is season 11, and I am very excited because this season is especially meaningful because we are celebrating 6 years of Light It Up. So, 6 years of conversation, reflection, growth, and shining light. I launched this podcast in 2020 during a season of uncertainty, and over the years, it has grown alongside me professionally, personally, and very intentionally. And today's episode is truly full circle. If you've been listening for a while, then you may remember that we kicked off season 10 back in September 2025 with a very special conversation where my three children joined me as we talked about preparation as they were all heading to North Carolina A&T State University. My youngest daughter, Khalees Muhammad, was starting her freshman year, and my twins, Kamal and Aliyah Muhammad, were preparing to begin their senior year of college. Now they're back, and this time they're here to help me kick off season 11 after completing the fall semester and earning academic honors and gaining some real lessons along the way. So today we're reflecting on the fall semester, sharing lessons learned, offering advice to students who are continuing or preparing to graduate, and looking ahead to the spring 2026 semester. So welcome back to Light It Up, and welcome back to my favorite guests, Aaliyah, Kamal, and Khalees. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Hi. All right. So the last time you all were on Light It Up, we were talking about preparation and what you hope college would look like this year. Now the fall semester is officially behind you. You all were home with me for uh six weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. Um, and now you're back at school. Or preparing to start the spring semester. So, how does it feel to be back reflecting on the other side of it?
It feels good. I'm glad that it's completed. It's a little bittersweet because I'm going into my last semester, I guess
Hmm.
starting Monday. But fall semester ended pretty well. I ended on the chancellor's list, and I actually got a little bit more involved on campus by joining some more organizations. So I would say that I'm very pleased with how I ended my fall semester.
Okay. And what about you, Kamal?
Um, I would say I'm satisfied with how my fall semester went. Um, I did join or two, um, and I felt like I was a little more involved on campus, like in terms of like community service wise. Like I've been doing more like service drives and like things like that. And I was on the dean's list this year, so that was good. Um, And yeah, I think I'll continue where I left off second semester.
All
So
right. And Khalees, last but not least, what about you? This was your first semester as a freshman in college.
I think that I ended my first semester pretty well. I also ended my first semester on the dean's list. I do wish that I could have ended on the chancellor's list because I was a few points away from that. But I also was very involved on campus, in a few organizations as well. And I kn- like my living learning community, Elevate Her, like our requirement was 10 hours of community service. And I exceeded that by getting, I want to say 24 for my first semester. So I'm very proud of myself,
Okay.
regardless.
Okay, good. So if we could just do a one word or a short phrase, how would each of you describe your fall semester?
Mid,
I'm sorry.
mid,
I don't know what that means. I'm a Gen Xer. What's mid?
it means like not bad, but not good. Like the middle. Like
Oh, got it. Okay.
I would say decent because again, like I ended on a good note academically and I was involved in clubs and organizations, but I do think that not all of them really aligned with exactly what I want to do. So this upcoming semester, I'm going to try to really search for those things.
Okay. And then Aaliyah?
I would say stressful, but worth it in the end, just because I had a lot of projects all due at the same exact time, so that was overwhelming. But like I said, I ended up on the chancellor's list, so it all worked out.
Okay. So, Khalees, let's start with you. You officially completed your first semester of college. What was the biggest adjustment from high school to college life that you didn't fully anticipate?
I think maybe I would say the level of freedom because like in high school and even while being on break, I didn't really go out that much. And not because like I couldn't per se, just because I didn't really ask to go anywhere or like really have anywhere to go or anything to do. But now that I've been in college, like I met a lot of new people and I made a nice group of friends. And so, you know, we want to go out and have fun and things like that. And I mean, I didn't really do that at home. So I do think that that's definitely been a bit of an adjustment, but it's definitely been fun and worth it though.
Okay. Aaliyah and Kamal, this was your final semester, final fall semester as undergraduates. How did this semester feel different knowing that you're in your senior year of college?
well, in all honesty, it didn't really feel different to me at least. I mean, yeah, it really didn't feel it felt like any other semester in my opinion. It didn't really feel that much different. From like June, well, I mean, I guess from like freshman and sophomore year is different because of the classes, but like from junior year, I would say, like it's been pretty much the same, I would say. So not really that much of a change. But hopefully spring semester will be different.
Yeah, you only have 15, 16 weeks and you're a graduate, an
Yeah.
adult. Yeah. What about you, Aaliyah?
I would say academically, I don't think it felt different. Like it's the usual going to class, things like that. But I will say at times I would get a wave of like, oh my gosh, this is my last time I'm gonna be XYZ. So I think this past semester I learned to take things in a little bit more and just cherish that I this is my last fall semester at A&T. And I think being with my friends too, I would just feel a little bit sad sometimes after leaving them because it's like, okay, we only have a few more months left to where we can really be in the same environment every day. And then I think I have more of a sense of urgency now that this is like really it's coming to a close. And I think that's why I kind of wanted to get out more and join more organizations that aligned with me. So I would say for the most part, I just got more of a sense of urgency and a little bit of um not nostalgia because that's when you're reminiscing, but well, actually, I guess, yeah. Is
Okay.
that the right? Okay, yeah.
Okay. So this semester also came with some major academic wins. We've got two of you who were on Dean's List recognition, and then one on the Chancellor's List. So congratulations again to you all for that. One thing that I can say publicly is that I know for a fact that you all aren't just these studious individuals who are just in your books all the time. Like you all, certainly the three of you, have balance. So I think considering the fact that you all, you know, make it a point to have your social lives while you're on campus and in college, you've also demonstrated the ability to balance quite well academically. So that's great. What do you think made the biggest difference for you academically this semester? And I guess that would probably be for you, Aaliyah and Kamal, since you all have had 3 years prior of undergraduate experience. But what do you think made the difference for you guys in terms of, being able to get on the chancellor's and dean's list?
I guess for me, I just wanted to um end the year strong. Like obviously I'm on a scholarship, so I have to maintain a certain GPA anyway. But I will say maybe the past 2 semesters, so basically all of junior year, I was on the dean's list or was yeah. So I was just trying to go out with the bang, I guess. I don't really
Mhm.
so yeah, and then also my classes this semester were a little bit more rigorous. It just required a more of me. Um, Whereas like in the past, it may not have required that much attention. So I think that's also why it means so much to me because classes that I had were a bit challenging and I still made it out with the chancellors, being on the chancellors. Um, so yeah, hopefully that answered the question.
Okay. And what about you, Kamal?
Can you repeat the question?
What do you think made the biggest difference for you academically this semester? Because you were able to once again get on the dean's list, but was there anything, that you would say made the biggest difference for you academically
Um,
this semester?
um, Not really. I mean, like I've always, well, like like I've always been concerned about my grades. Like I've always wanted to have good grades. Um, so I mean, just really just with that mindset, just wanting to have good grades. I mean,
Okay.
that's how I've, you know, used that in terms of trying to stay on top of everything. And I would say really like this semester, I feel like the only class I really had to really try to assert myself in was like that 8 a.m. class because I've never had an 8 a.m. class in college. So I've had to, get up earlier than normal and stuff like that. But I had to see it through, obviously, to, do what I had to do to be in the position I'm at now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, every semester has its challenges too, so I don't want people to think that you all have just breezed through each one of your semesters or this past semester. Can each of you share a moment this past fall, that really tested you and what helped you push through?
I can go first. So something that I struggled with like this fall semester, I had to withdraw from my math class because I didn't have the best professor. Um, Looking back at her rate, my professor, I think she had like 1.5 stars maybe. But yeah, it was like she would explain stuff in the classroom, and then like students, like including myself, we would have to end up like correcting her on like what the right answer would be. And then like our homework, it would be completely different than the test. And I just wasn't doing well in the class. And so I didn't want to risk like having a bad grade in my transcript. So I just decided to withdraw. Going to retake it starting Monday.
Okay. Aaliyah or come on. What, you know what? Let me ask you a question though. With withdrawing from that class, did you like how did you come to that conclusion? Like, of course, I know that you didn't want to get a bad grade, but did you struggle with with deciding whether or not to withdraw, or was there a certain point in which you knew, okay, the best plan of action is for me to withdraw from this course?
I mean, I didn't really struggle with the decision because I think I knew deep down, like if I stayed in the class, I probably wasn't going to pass it. So I think that the best choice was to just withdraw and just retake it because I just didn't want to even risk it.
Okay. Kamal, Aaliyah, was there something that you'd like to share in terms of one moment that you felt like really tested you and what helped you push through?
I would say a moment, but there were definitely points in the semester where I kind of broke down a little bit just because, like I said, the semester was a bit more rigorous compared to others, and I also was trying to balance putting myself out there more and joining other things. And then I also I work on campus, and then having to balance my social life. And then also I would try to get more involved in programs on the side to kind of enhance my skills, and grow as a student, and basically trying to develop my resume more. So I would have to do workshops like in the evenings after going to class, trying to do my homework, work on my projects, then trying to make time to go to the gym. So I think like there were just days where I felt like I was doing a lot and like nothing was slowing down. So yeah, I really just had to, obviously, talking to my mother helps because you sometimes give good advice.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, when
Mm,
you're not yelling.
mm,
Um, and yeah, just honestly taking a deep breath, and I don't know how I really did it, honestly. It's not for everyone, but yeah.
okay. Kamal, was there a moment this fall that really tested you? And if so, what helped you to push through?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I have one really this year other than my group. I was assigned a group for this class and group work it reflects like everyone. So I would say like for certain assignments, like if one person would turn something in like and it was like all messed up or whatever, everyone would take the fall for it. I mean, that was probably like the only thing. So what I did to overcome that, I just did everything myself because like I said, I don't like bad grades, so I just took everything in my hands and just did it myself.
Mm,
So that's how I overcame it,
hmm.
just doing it myself.
How did that make you feel?
I mean, I felt cool. I
Okay.
was, yeah, I didn't really have.
You didn't feel taken advantage of by your group members?
I mean, at that point, I didn't care because, like I said, if our grades were bad, then I mean, I don't care if or I don't care. Well, I didn't feel that way, but
Mm,
if that's what it seems like, then I mean, so be it. But I just, if that's what it took for me to get our grade or my grade up, then I would be willing to, I'd do it again,
mm.
basically. So,
Okay. So
yep.
Okay, so let's talk lessons. What is one lesson from the fall semester, either academic, personal, or emotional, that you are carrying into the spring? And let's start with you, Kamal.
A lesson.
hmm So, what is one lesson from the fall semester, whether it's academic, personal, or emotional, that you are carrying into the spring semester?
I would say putting myself first will probably be one thing. Well, that's probably going to be the main thing. And that's
Mhm.
really a year, like a resolution thing too. Um, so yeah, I would say putting myself first because I mean, although I do like I wouldn't I feel like I care about other people too, and not saying that that's a bad thing, but I feel like sometimes I put others before myself, and don't need to do that, especially since I'm getting older now. So that's one thing that I'm going to prioritize. I'm just going to do what I need to do first, and then whatever everything else is second. Basically, I'm first. So
Okay.
that's my thing.
Okay. Aaliyah, what about you?
A lesson I'm actually currently working on that fall semester saw me is to be okay with not being in control of everything. That's just something that I had to realize, especially with I guess graduation coming up. Obviously, everyone wants to be prepared before they graduate, like have job offers, things like that. And it can be very easy to get discouraged, especially when you see on social media like LinkedIn, Instagram, things like that, of like all of your peers getting these amazing job offers, which is great for them. um, but yeah, it can just be hard, especially when you know what you bring to the table. So it's like, oh my God, why is this not happening for me yet? But I'm just learning that everything works in God's timing and that everything will work out the way that it needs to. So that's probably my biggest lesson that I'm still trying to overcome.
Okay. And Khalees?
I would definitely agree with Kamal and also say prioritizing myself as well, like in a whole aspect. Like, I have a lot of goals for myself, for spring semester and just like in general, like as a whole, that I want to make sure that I complete. Like, for example, I want to make sure that I get on the chancellor's list this semester. So I'm going to make sure that I do that and like get the work done before I prioritize anything else. And there's also like other goals that I have, and I feel like and like things that I want to do that I feel like I may have like put to the side or like set off and like not pursued them because I was kind of like nervous or like I don't know, kind of lacking confidence, I guess. So I'm definitely going to stop doing that and just, do everything that I want to do and not worry about what everybody else is thinking or what everybody else is.
That's great. Okay. So now let's pivot and shift over to into advice mode. Aaliyah, Kamal, you all are graduating in May 9th, 2026. So for students who are preparing to graduate and may feel or may be feeling excited and a little bit uncertain about what comes next. And I know, Aaliyah, you kind of touched upon, that talking about as people are getting job offers, et cetera, and figuring out what they're going to do, next steps. What advice would you give to your peers who are preparing to graduate and maybe feeling a bit excited and uncertain about what's next?
Don't be afraid to take a leap. So, like, let's say you're someone that's maybe you're planning to go to school or you already go to school in like the same state that you've lived in your whole life. Don't be afraid to see what else is out there in the world. Um, especially because you don't want to remain stagnant. And I think you're the one that actually put in my head to move out of state because I was one of those people where I was just going to plan to get a job in Chicago. Not saying if you guys in a few months see me here, then but I was just gonna stay here and plan my life to basically be in Chicago for the rest of it. But now I'm definitely excited to embark and see what's next in other states, other cities. Um, and yeah, so don't be afraid to take a leap. Obviously, it's going to be scary, especially if you are interested in moving somewhere where you may not know anyone or have that much family. But I'm sure I've never done it. I plan to, hopefully, but I'm sure doing so would help you find yourself and, just figure out the type of person that you want to be. So, yeah, that's the advice that I would give.
Okay. And Kamal, what about you? What advice would you give for, your peers, students who are preparing to graduate and maybe feeling excited or uncertain about what comes next?
I honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like, would you say, so what are you planning to do after you graduate? Like, what are your plans?
I'll go to grad school.
Okay. Are
And
you, oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say just grad school and just see where that takes me. I feel like grad school for me is probably gonna be like my real stepping up point because as I was telling my mom, I was like, I'm really not. It's really gonna be me. I feel like all my friends or most of my friends are gonna be gone, and I don't really have any like lower classmen people. So I feel like that grad school year is really gonna give me a time to like reflect and like I'll really see like what I want to do. I feel like I'll be more independent. I feel like hopefully like I won't have Aaliyah. Like Aaliyah's gonna be gone. But I mean Khalees still gonna be in school, so I'll have Khalees, but basically, I mean, I don't know. I would say just I'm just going with flow of
You're
things.
going with the flow.
Just yeah. That's my advice, I guess. Well, I don't know if that's good advice going with the flow, but I know going with the flow for a lot of people actually works. So,
Well, make sure you have a plan as you go with the flow.
oh, well, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
but yeah,
So
yeah.
for Khalees, for freshmen who just finished their first semester and are heading into the spring semester thinking, okay, now I know what college is really like, what advice would you give them?
Some advice that I would give them, definitely anything that you haven't done, like that you didn't do your fall semester that you want to do, just go out and do it, especially because it's like a new year, new resolutions or whatever the case. Um, and now that we kind of have like a gist of the college life, I do feel like it'll be easier to navigate things. Like, fall semester was kind of like a trial and error run. So it's like if you know that you have work to do, then you know that you cannot go. But yeah, but for the most part, I would definitely say like anything that it is that you haven't done yet that you know that you're capable of doing, just go out and branch out and do it because really like college is about like finding yourself, discovering yourself, and you know realistically, nobody really cares. Like if you're scared, no one cares,
Okay.
honestly. So,
Okay. So, what did each of you, I would say this, this semester also probably taught you all a lot about balance, right? Khalees, you had a level of freedom that you've not had before being in my home, and you were able, you were 700 miles away, so you didn't have to ask permission to go out, but I knew where you were. But what did you all learn about managing your time, energy, and mental health? And what would you do differently this spring semester?
Okay, so I'll just give an example of something that I did like for fall semester. So like my schedule was definitely a lot more open. Like I only really had classes, one class on Mondays, one class on Tuesdays, and then two classes in the morning on Thursdays. So I had a very free schedule. And honestly, like in the morning, I was really like sleeping in a lot, like on Wednesdays and Fridays. But something that I did do, like, because I had online classes. So like on Wednesdays, I would usually get like all my online work done and then all my like in-person class work done as well. And I think that that really helped me. Now, next semester, I do have classes every day, but they're still very like minimal. So I think I'm gonna keep that little Wednesday working schedule thing going because like, okay, I had time to like not really do anything the first 2 days. I get my work done in the middle of the week, and now I have the rest of the weekend to just, relax and have fun.
Mm, okay. What about you, Aaliyah? What did you learn about managing your time, energy, and mental health, and what would you do differently during the spring semester?
Just learned to not overextend myself. Like it's okay to want to be involved in everything and obviously be a good student, work on your academics, have a nice social life and things like that. But when you do it at the expense of you barely get enough sleep, you barely have enough time to eat, that's when it kind of is like, okay, you might want to take some things off of your plate or just kind of better schedule things around so that you are able to still do all those things just better manage them wisely. So yeah, I would just say that going into this semester, I'm gonna try not to overextend myself and just make sure that I have each thing, you know, timed out well and yeah. So not to put too much on my plate, basically.
Okay. And then Kamal.
Um, I would say, um, like taking like I feel like relaxing, like my mind, like I don't know how to explain it. Basically, me, I feel like I'm an overthinker, so it's like a lot of stuff will happen, and I would just feel like everything's like crashing down, like I wouldn't know what to do. But like after talks and stuff, I feel like I just need to, just ease my mind and like just relax, and like just take a deep breath, like everything's not gonna like the world isn't gonna end. So I
Hmm.
feel like this year I'm just gonna not stress a lot because I feel like I would stress myself out over stuff that really didn't, or let me not say that didn't wasn't stress worthy, but I feel like I would be too stressed for certain things when I didn't really need to be. So I'm just going to prioritize like just relaxing and just hoping everything will work out without having to stress myself out.
Okay.
So,
Aaliyah, was there something that you wanted to chime in and say really quickly?
Yes, sorry, I'll make it quick. I also just wanted to give some advice to the younger generation. Don't feel like just because you're young, you can't feel overwhelmed and that you can't feel stressed out. Because I hear a lot of older people say you have nothing to be stressed about when it's like, no, I'm doing a lot, just like a lot of the younger people watching probably are. So, especially because when you see on social media, everyone is doing a lot, you want to do better. So, yeah, don't let people make you feel like you can't be overwhelmed or feel stressed out. It's okay. That's all I
Mm,
wanted to add.
okay. All right. So, as you've returned to spring semester or preparing to return, by the time this airs, you all would have actually completed your first week of the spring semester, right? Because as we're recording, we're preparing to go back to Greensboro for classes to start on January 12th. As you prepare to return for the spring semester, I want to talk intention. What is one academic goal and one personal goal that you're setting for yourself? Aaliyah, I'll start with you.
Academically, I just obviously want to graduate. And I'd also like to be on the chancellor's list again. And then personally, um, I don't know. I think personally, I just want to make sure that I leave North Carolina A&T with no regrets, and I just want to leave feeling fulfilled with how I've completed my 4 years.
Okay. Kamal, what is,
Um, well, I already said my personal goal. It was about like putting myself first and stuff. But my academic goal, yeah, obviously is to graduate on time. And this year or this semester, I want to get all A's
okay.
and at most one B. So
Well,
that's
that sounds like Chancellor's list goals to me. All right. Khalees, one academic goal and one personal goal that you're setting for yourself for this semester.
My academic goal would be all A's, and Chancellor's list. And then my personal goal for myself would definitely be to get a job or make another source of income because I haven't worked since before I left for school. So
Yeah, I really need you to get a job too because those Uber rides, Lyfts, DoorDash, and Uber Eats got to curb that. You need to finance that yourself. So, on a lighter side, what are you all genuinely most excited about this upcoming semester? Is it classes, the different experiences, milestones, or just being back on campus and out of my home?
I'm definitely excited to get back on campus, but think what I'm most excited about is like new experiences. Because, like I said, like more so at the beginning of the podcast, um, I feel like some of the organizations that I joined didn't really like align with exactly what I wanted to get out of it, like I thought it would. And I recently found some more that I think more so align with like what I want and like what I'm trying to get out of my experience, my college experience. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, um, I also am in the works of trying to start my own organization in fall 2026. So that's something that I also am going to be like working on this upcoming semester and like I'm trying to partner with the Department of Education as well. So that's something I'm really excited about.
Okay. Come on.
um this semester, I would say I'm just excited, probably just to get back on campus, uh, and to graduate early. Those are the only two things that I'm looking forward to this year. So, yeah.
All right. And Aaliyah.
Yeah, I would say I'm just excited to go back to campus. Honestly, I have like a very good feeling about this year in general, and I also feel like spring semester is typically where I thrive more. So, yeah, I'm just excited to see what the semester brings.
Okay. Well, one more question before we wrap up. Being siblings at the same university is probably a unique experience. Now, although Khalees, you are physically the only one who's living on campus per se, like on the main campus, and Aaliyah, you have the campus apartments. Kamal, you're off campus, um, as far as having your own apartment. But being siblings at the same university, definitely has its, it's a unique experience. So how has having each other on campus in the same city within a 5 to 10 minute, proximity, how has that shaped this journey, especially for this past semester?
I do think that it is beneficial, even though I definitely was on the fence about going to school with my siblings at first. I do think that it has been beneficial. Like, you know, for example, Kamal let me and my friend cook rotel in his apartment, even though it was for like his little party or whatever, but still. And like me and my friends, we had a Friendsgiving and Aaliyah let us all cook in her apartment as well. And like we cleaned up afterwards, whatever the case. Um, but besides that too, I think like in an academic sense, I think it helps too because they've been here longer than I have, so they know like if I'm looking for like a building or something, or like I still don't know how the shuttle bus works that much, but they help with things like that as well. And yeah, I do think that it's very beneficial and another
Hmm.
resource for me.
Now, Kamal and Aaliyah, you all have had each other the entire 4 years, and this year is actually the first year that you're not living in close proximity. So, like freshman and sophomore year, you guys lived in the same dorm. Junior year, you all lived in the campus apartments in the same kind of village or what have you. But you all have been with each other per se the entire 4 years. So, how has being together this entire time kind of shaped your journey?
Um, I enjoyed having Kamal there with me. It helps like not having to Uber to the airport because obviously he could drive me and vice versa. So like little perks like that. But I will say us, like me being in an on-campus apartment and him being off campus, I kind of like it. It's not like oh my God, I missed my brother type of thing. I feel like it gives us more of a sense of independence since, like you said, we were in the same proximity for the past 3 years. Um, and plus all of my friends live in Kamal's complex and I still our friends are kind of like we all know each other. So I feel like I see Kamal like a lot in like our social aspect. So but yeah, I mean, obviously it's nice having family, like both my siblings are there. So, like I remember when I think something had happened with my car and I was waiting for the shuttle after the gym and I was just able to go across to Khalees's dorm to wait for a few minutes for the shuttles to come. So it's just like things like that. Like it just helps out. Um, but yeah, it's nice. You obviously always have people that are gonna have your back. So yeah.
Okay. And Kamal, last but not least.
Yeah, she pretty much like explain. I mean, it's really only so much. But I mean, yeah, like with the like having rides and stuff, like the airport, um, that's been nice. Um, I know it was one time I let Aaliyah drive the car somewhere because she was already in the area. Forgot what she had to do. But I mean, like it's just stuff like that. Like I'll when they ask me for something or ask for help, most of the time I'm able to help when I can. So I mean, I don't really ask them for anything or so I mean, that's why I'm saying like for me it's really not like as much of a difference, but it is nice like knowing I do have family here or at school, you know? So that's cool.
Hmm.
But I feel like I don't really have to ask them for anything. But when they need something, then I'll help out most of the yeah, I was gonna say like I always help if I can, unless I'm doing something else or not in the area. But yeah, it's cool.
But
So
you're the older brother.
yeah.
You're the eldest.
Yeah.
But I would venture to think that that emotional support, like knowing that you all have each other there, and that if something should happen, like you're not alone, I guess
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah, like when
what I
Khalees
would
went
think.
to the hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was there.
yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
So, okay. So as we close out today's conversation, and again, thank you so much for helping me to open up season 11 of Light It Up. I just want to ask one final reflection question. When you look back on this season of your lives, freshman year beginnings and senior year endings, what do you hope people remember about how you showed up?
I hope that people remember that, like, you mean like in the school aspect?
School, socially, what have you, like you've made connections, but yeah, in whatever aspect that you deem appropriate to share, how do you hope
I,
people remember how you showed up?
okay. I think that I really want people to remember how much of an impact that I've been trying to make. Not more like not really in the like just getting involved just to get involved sense, but like I feel like the things that I've been doing and like like whether it's volunteering or like joining an organization, things like that, it's been very intentional because like I said, I do have goals set for myself. And um as the viewers may know, I am an elementary education major. And so I really enjoy working with children and helping children. So like one of my favorite things that I've done this past semester was like volunteer to be like a teacher's assistant at like a lower funded school and like lunch buddies and things like that. And I really enjoyed building a relationship with the teachers and the children. So I think that that's something that I would like to be remembered
Okay. Um, Kamal or Aaliyah, which one of you want to chime in first?
I feel like I was a person who was always reliable. Like I feel like no matter what setting I was in, like work, group work, or like even with people, I just feel like I was always someone people could like turn to
Hmm.
or like, just be like, like I said, like just someone you could turn to, ask for anything, like help or something, like an anchor. So I feel like that's what I would want to be remembered as or by.
All right, Anchor.
Yep.
Aaliyah, what about you? What do you hope people remember about how you showed up?
I mean, simply just that I um put my very best into everything that I do, and then I go above and beyond in like every aspect of my life. Um, because like when you put your name on it, you want it to be, you know. Yeah, I guess that's the main thing.
Okay. Well, Light It Up has always been about growth, resilience, and shining one's light, especially during seasons of transition. Because when I launched Light It Up in 2020, it was a season of transition for me because it was actually 6 months or so after my dad had passed away. And so this podcast has been part of that reflective moment and kind of being in honor of him. So, what I want to know is, what does shining your light look like for you right now? And Kamal, I ask you, if you don't mind, to kind of share briefly as a closing remark, what does shining your light look like for you right now?
I would say maybe like being more outgoing. I don't know, like probably just being myself more. Like, um, just being myself. I would say that's what it is. That's how I would look at it. Or
Okay.
that's the definition I would take from that. So
Okay.
that's mine.
Aaliyah, Khalees.
I would say I think, I guess two things, like, one, trying to do things that maybe you wouldn't do in order to better develop your skills and things like that, especially like me personally, like as I embark upon graduation. And then also, I feel like bragging on yourself a little bit, obviously in a respectful way, but just like looking back at all the things that you've accomplished, and just because like there are times where I think to myself, wow, I really did X, Y, and Z. Like I go to school on a full ride. Like I can't believe, like myself 4 years ago probably wouldn't have thought that I would do half the things that I've done today. So, you know.
Khalees?
I will also kind of say like just giving yourself like a pat on the back, because how do I word this? Like I do feel like it's kind of common for us like kind of at this age to be caught in like maybe like comparing ourselves to like other people, like, oh dang, like she's doing this, and like maybe kind of feeling like you're a little behind on some things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like Aaliyah was saying, definitely like embrace your own accomplishments. Like, yeah, just try not to worry about what other people are doing, because what matters is like what you're doing and like the impact that you're making.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you all, and I'll just say that, as a mother and as the host of Light It Up, this conversation means a whole lot to me. It means a great deal. And so I'm proud of not just of the honors, but of the growth, the resilience, and the way each of you continue to show up for yourselves and for each other. So thank you so much for helping me kick off season 11 and for being part of this 6-year journey of light learning and legacy. And so to our listeners and viewers, thank you for continuing to walk with us and listen to our stories and just being there along the way with this journey. So until next time, remember to continue shining, keep growing, and always light it up and shine bright like a diamond. Thanks for joining me this week on Light It Up. Make sure you visit my website at www.lightituppodcast.com or www.aginahmuhammad.com. You can also find me on social media using the handle at Light It Up Podcasts. If you like what you've heard, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, I'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or you can simply tell a friend about the show. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday for a new episode. Until next time, light it up and shine bright like a diamond.